Hey there, welcome back to Turntable Guy. On the bench today we have a beautiful Pioneer PL-518. This was dropped off today. The gentleman wants a general service on it, and this deck is absolutely gorgeous. He spent a good amount of time cleaning it, and he did a full headlight restoration service on the dust cover here. It is absolutely clear and spotless. I can't even get them this clear. Did a really gorgeous job. So I don't think there's a lot to be done in this one. We'll give it a general test. He just purchased a used Ortofon 2M silver. I'm not sure exactly what this is, and it's kind of amusing because the quote-unquote pro audio shop said they set it up for him, and I don't know how they set it up, but we'll see. I'm gonna check it out myself. The cartridge alignment on a Pioneer of this vintage is kind of like the Technique system, where it's 49 millimeters from the stylus diamond to the tip of the gasket. And I'm noticing something already, that the positive cable has come off. It's totally loose, so the pro quality audiophile shop didn't bother to tighten up the pins on the cartridge leads. That's great. So I can just imagine what kind of alignment we're looking at here. I think he's definitely used some kind of protractor, because it's definitely angled inwards, as I can see here. Just by looking at the screws, they are uneven, and the cartridge is cockeyed in the head shell. So he might have used a Bearwald or a Stevenson protractor to do this. I myself am going to switch it back to Pioneer's recommendation of 49 millimeters. So anyway, let's start the service on this gorgeous table. So I'm just going to quickly plug it in and just do the usual checks to make sure it's running correctly first. These are really nice turntables. I have a Pioneer PL-518 myself, which looks almost identical to this. It's got the quartz lock system, and it's got a nice big pitch meter on it. But unfortunately, one of the control boards on it, and the Pioneer PD, I think it's a 1003 chip, has died on it, and it's almost impossible to get that chip anymore. So I've been looking around, and there's some fakes out of China which I don't really want to purchase because they're not going to work. So trying to find an original Pioneer chip is going to be difficult, but hopefully I can bring that back, because it's in as nice condition as this one is. And these are heavy. I mean, these things weigh a ton. Just stunning. So anyway, the only issue I see is and what you will see with these tables, is the feet on them get very tired and the rubber completely disintegrates. And I can tell on this one that it's no longer springy, and when you let go, it kind of just sits on the end of the feet, so the springs aren't suspending it anymore, and that's pretty normal for this. So, you know, there's not a lot you can do other than maybe spend some money and get new feet for it. Good luck finding original feet. They're going to be in the same condition as this one is. So, all right, so let's start by removing the platter mat and platter. Pioneer's kind of the... Did I plug this in? Oh, I did plug this in. Whoops. It's not auto returning yet. There we go. Let me just unplug this real quick. I just want to have a look if this has the plate underneath. Same as Techniques, you got to give it a good tug to get it out. There we go. Yeah, it does have the plate underneath, so we'll have to remove that. Okay, let's just do a real quick test here. I'll just use my cartridge. Plug it back in. Just want to see if Everything's working. Weight's way off. Let's get a little bit of weight. Okay. All right, so our start-stop switch is good. Our speed pot, I don't know if you guys can see that or not. It's right here. It's, see how it's jumping around? See that? Back and forth, back and forth. So the speed adjustment, pitch control is dirty, so we'll have to clean that. Kind of locks in, but then it kind of wavers. There's 45, 33, so we do have our two speeds. The queuing is nice. And let's just check our auto return. Very nice. Okay, good. So it looks like we're going to need to clean our pitch controls. And we'll also see if what kind of service the motor might need on this one. I'm pretty sure this table, I think we can do all the work from the top. If it's anything like the 560, let me just take that off. Put that aside for safekeeping. Unplug it. We'll remove our platter here. Take our head shell off. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws to remove. Oh, I just want to say while I'm removing these screws, I don't know if you've noticed, but I am using a new camera. It's actually my smartphone. Picked up a new Samsung Galaxy S20. It's got all sorts of high quality recording modes. I'm recording this one in 1080p, 60 frames per second. Most of my other videos were 720, 30. This one will do 4K at 60 frames per second as well, but I don't think I'm going to go that high quality. It's probably just going to, especially if you don't have the ability to display it, it's probably just going to be a pain for everybody else. So I'm going to try this 1080p at 60 and see how that goes. Hopefully the videos look clear, and hopefully the sound quality is good too. Okay, so not exactly the most serviceable motor. They are serviceable in a way. It's just a matter of removing all this stuff. Basically, it comes down to, you know, does this feel gummy? And it does not. It feels nice and smooth. Pioneer puts, you know, quote unquote, you know, lifetime lubrication in there, and I don't see any kind of problems with this. If you are looking to remove or change the oil on this motor, you're going to have to remove all the auto return mechanism. Okay, and once that's done, you can pull the motor out. But I'm going to see, you know, if we can do some of this. We might be able to remove this plate because we have to lift up this tone arm to get at these switches. So I don't know. Let's see how far we get together here and see if it's actually workable or not. I don't feel bad leaving this oil in there because, like I said, it feels fine. That's a big, heavy motor. Okay, so we need to lift this section of the arm. So to do that, you're going to need a hex key. This is a metric, and don't ask me what size it is. I have no clue. You just want to remove these. I've never done a PL-518 before. Like I said, I've worked on my own 560 quite a bit. I think I've done a 512. I don't know if I did that one on video or not. That's a belt drive. Oh yeah, you know what? I think that we will be able to move this. If we just remove this screw over here, looks like this whole plate and the auto return mechanism should lift up. So let's have a look-see here. Oh, excellent. Look at this. Beauty. So that that opens up the motor, eh? So that's great. There's some cable ties here that are just keeping it kind of tight. So we're just gonna release these. And some power cables down here. There's a ground cable down there as well. These are the motor cables. So we'll just lift that like that, and we can get that pretty much out of the way, except for this audio cable. Well, you know what? I think this is good enough to be able to see what we're doing here. Here's our pots right here. If you can see that, there's our speed pot and our speed switch. So very accessible. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our contact cleaner, and we'll spray back end, and we'll spray a little bit on the front end. And you guys know the drill. Once you've done that, you're going to want to work your pot back and forth. And that is going to clean the potentiometer, loosen it up. It's really loosening up. And restore, connectivity throughout the whole sweep of the pot. That's what you're looking to do. Most of the time, people leave the pot in one spot. And that's why, boy, has it ever loosened up. That's great. That's why you get these issues, right? Because they never touch them again. They set the speed and you're done. People don't play with pitch controls. DJs might play with them when they're, lining up songs or whatever, but the average user will never do this. So there we go. One clean pitch control. We're also going to clean the 3345 switch. There's a couple little holes right there. Sorry, I'm upside down, but just gonna give that a little shot. There we go. And I just work your 3345 up and down. It's a pretty easy table to work on, actually. I like the fact you don't have to take the bottom off. And I even set up a nice tablecloth here today, soft kitchen cloth, because the dust cover on this turntable is immaculate, so definitely going to protect it. All right, that is our electrical service. So we're just going to gently just put that there. And let's do the motor service. So we have 1, 2, 3 large, actually, you know what? We don't have to remove that. There is one small screw back there that should hold the entire motor down. It's just at the back. There we go. No need lifting up the whole motor. There's a little retaining clip here that keeps the motor from coming up when you pull up on the platter. Oops. No, that's no good. Okay, we'll look for that in a minute. And you should be able to pull this right up. Here we go. Aha! Nice. And just like I thought, there is plenty of lubricant in there. You can smell it. Let's put a Q-tip down there and see what we got. There's lots. See what I mean? And it's in nice condition as well. So that just shows, the build quality of these tables. Plenty of lubrication in there, but this is 40-plus-year-old oil, and we're going to change it. All right. So some people asked me in the comments section what kind of alcohol I use. This is 70% isopropyl. I also have 90, I think, what is it, 91? 99. I have 99% isopropyl. I use that more for stuff like cassette heads because it evaporates like immediately. This stuff is probably, 70% alcohol and 10% water. It evaporates very quickly as well, but it's not 100%. The 100% stuff is what I like to use for tape heads or some really heavier duty dirt that needs a little bit more solvent. Nice and clean. Same thing with our motor spindle. I'm just going to put a little bit of alcohol on a cloth and just grab your motor and just clean off the oil from the spindle here. The magnet is on this part. Just clean that off. And we're good to re-oil. Now, where did that screw go? Why don't we take a quick pause here while I try to find that screw. There's a little sucker right there. All right, for this table, I'm going to be going to my favorite for Japanese tables like this, a non-detergent 30 weight oil. And you want to put like probably 3 or 4 drops down the bearing well. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 along the side here. Okay, and then you're going to want to grab your spindle and just put a drop or 2 there. And we're going to drop her back in. And it's going to stop about 2/3 the way down and be a pain in the butt until the oil gets pushed out. I find the Pioneers are really tight tolerances. There we go. And the oils really take a while for them to come up. This one wasn't too bad. So if you notice, this is brand new fresh oil. It doesn't spin any better than what was in there originally, but it's just the knowledge of knowing that the oil's changed and it hopefully be good for another 40 years. Okay, let's put our clip back on. See, what it does is that little clip prevents the spindle from coming up when you pull up on the platter. So there you go. We have a lubrication service. We've cleaned and deoxidated or contact cleaned the pitch controls. So now we're going to put our arm back in place, and then we'll put our wires back in their appropriate place. Right there. So these wires here, and tuck these up here like this, and these just get twirled around there. Never hurts to go in and make sure your ground is nice and tight. That one is, so no problems. Have a peek at your capacitors, right? They look good. What do we got there? Let's see. It's a 330 microfarad at 50 volts. You know, if you're 330 and 100 at 25. So if you wanted to recap it, you could put 2 new capacitors in as well on the power supply. These are Nippon Kamicons, and I know that they're good. So no bulging, no leaking. They look good. I'm not changing them out. So there's our auto return mechanism working and resetting. It's looking great. Okay. So now I'm just going to put our plate back on here. Nothing's rubbing. This turntable feels like it's never been serviced because these screws just go into like the fiber board here and they're still tight. I know when I removed the plate on my 560, and I've been in and out of there so many times that the screws are so loose, I've actually had to put a little bit of wood glue and sawdust into the holes to get the friction I need to hold this plate down. But these are still really nice and tight. All right, and then you're going to get your, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put the retaining screw in for the where the auto return sits. We'll come right back. Okay, put that retaining screw back in there, so it's all good. That's the fun part about doing these live. You get to see me make mistakes, and you know, I make mistakes just like anybody else. Such a beautiful design. This tone arm is so gorgeous. Definitely the peak, I think, of Pioneer's turntable technology was this series with this kind of gold finish. Just stunning, beautiful. They sound great. They're mechanically beautifully engineered. So if you can find one of these, I say go for it. All right. So that is basically the service. Okay, guys, so we've got a little bit of problem with the Ortophone 2M here. These are great cartridges, but they're really, really big. They're big and fat, and a lot of the old style head shells don't like them very much. And this Pioneer one is a real pain because it's kind of concave on the inside. So the back end is sitting on the edge, and the front end is sitting inwards, okay? And that's going to result in the cartridge sitting a little, the cartridge itself sitting a little bit cockeyed inside the head shell. So really what should happen is this head shell needs a filler plate. I'm just going to pull it off here. And I don't know if I actually have it. I suppose all you need is some kind of material to take up the space within the head shell itself, right? See what I mean here? So the front end of the cartridge is sitting inside here, and the back end is sitting on these two sloped parts of the head shell. So it's not ideal, right? What you want is you want it to be on the outside. So really what should happen here, I'm going to pull these wires off because they all need to be adjusted. I'll do that off screen. What really needs to happen here is we need to fill this area of the head shell with something. Even if it's just up the middle here, to take up this probably, you know, it's probably 1 or 2 millimeters, right? And get that filled up. That way we have a little bit more adjustment space forward and back. So I'm gonna put the camera on pause again, and then we'll have a look to see what I have here to make it work, and we'll come back. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken a little bit of this foam, and I've cut a strip, put it down the middle, and I'm attaching the cartridge to that, and that is giving me just enough distance to get a good mount on this now. Okay. There are spacers available. I don't have any right now. I haven't had to use one in a long time. I've always had problems with some Thorens decks and getting them to sit properly. So I've always used some spacers with Thorens, but these 2Ms definitely do cause some issues with size. They're very particular as to what kind of head shell they want to work with. And this Pioneer is definitely not one of them. Alright, so we got that hooked up. See, now we're getting a nice square mount. Let's see if I don't know if we're going to get that 49 millimeter. That's why I pulled out this protractor. No, I don't think we're going to get a 49 here. So I'm just going to loosely mount this, and we're going to try the bare weld on this. Let's just give a rough idea as to where we are here. We don't want too much weight when we're doing an alignment. You want to press down the needle too much. Turn your anti-skating off. Okay. You might have to move the paper. All right, so what you want to do is you want to line this up on the crosshairs and see how square you are. And then what you're going to want to do is lift it, move it to the next one, and see if you're square here as well. Now I can tell already I'm a little bit cockeyed there, so it probably needs to come back a little bit on the one side. So I'm just going to check, see for squareness here. That looks square. Now what you want to do is move it back. And move your paper if the platter moves. And that's really, really close right there. Front of these ortophones is really hard. What you should do is tape something very flat to the front so it's perfectly perpendicular, right? And then line it up. Nothing beats a Nagaoka cartridge for doing alignments. I'm very square here. And I'm damn square there. I'm just the slightest bit off. That much. Excuse my head. That looks really good. I'm really happy with that. I'm going with that. So we got a Pioneer aligned with the bare walled stupid protractor. Just a 2-point protractor. It gets you lined up. If you can't do the Pioneer, unfortunately, on this one. This cartridge is much too big. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to squeeze that real tight. And I don't know what I do with my screwdriver. Here it is. We're just going to tighten that. Right there. All right, we're all aligned with that bare walled. Cartridge is mounted. The bare walled did make it a little cockeyed in there, so maybe the shop did do it with the bare walled, but I just wanted to check it. I don't trust anybody anymore, I'll be honest with you. And I've gone over and I've redone each 4 of those pins, and I've compressed them. Cable needs a new ground. It's a courtesy thing I do. These cables are like brand new. So we're just going to quickly test for sound. Make sure we're all grounded. Turn on our amplifier. Make sure we have no hum. Beautiful, no hum. Check our speed now for accuracy. No more jumping around. So our pot cleaning did it. Set our 33. .45 looks great. And we'll do a quick sound tester. Now, final thing to do is to set up our ortophone here. So plug it real quick. And these are 1.8 grams. I'm not going to do the arm balance, guys. I'm just going to do it with the scale. A little bit heavy. All right, let's call it 1.81. And then I'll just adjust the reading on the dial so it shows at 1.8, and set up our anti-skate at 1.8 or thereabouts. And now we can really listen. Oh yeah, look at it.
To see it through, I say that.
Sounds really nice.
See the nice boy.
And there you have it. Pioneer PL-518. Stunning example of one. I don't think I've ever seen one this clean, and I'm just amazed at the job he did cleaning this up. Stunningly beautiful turntable. There you go, boys. That's how you do the direct drive on a Pioneer. Again, don't really need to change out the oil on it, but if you have access to it, go ahead and do it. It's not hard. Use the correct lubricant. We did a bare wall adjustment today, our alignment. We cleaned the pots and the speed control. And this baby is ready to go into this gentleman's house and make him happy with musical glory. Anyway, thanks again for tuning in. I don't know what's coming up next, to be honest with you. I'm hoping it's a newer turntable. I have a few guys who've got these newer turntables that they got issues with them. Maybe we'll do a few new ones. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't know yet, but I know I've got several lined up, and hoping to take some videos of that. So again, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your time, and have yourselves a great day.